Hey there, welcome on back. As always, I'm Carl with Target's Attitude, absent-minded professor of knives and all things sharp. Pull up a chair, grab your pens and paper, class is about to begin. Today, we're taking a look at the newest offering from Spartan Blades, the Talos. Yes, the Talos. I'm assuming they're taking the name from the mythical Greek robot or automatron that protected Crete from pirates and the like, since they've named everything else they do after some Greek word or god or myth. But I could be wrong because they don't actually say. It just seems that that would make the most sense. Who was Talos, you said? Well, it's not really germane to the knife too much, but it is kind of interesting. Supposedly, Talos was a magical Greek bronze statue that circled the island of Crete, protecting it from marauders and pirates. And he would throw stones at any ship that wasn't supposed to be there and drive them off. You could say he was the first robot. And it fits because, as I say, everything else Spartan Blades has done has been named after a Greek myth or demigod. But before we get too much further into the knife itself, let's get the syllabus work out of the way, shall we? For those of you who are new, welcome. Here on Fridays, we do mainly knife reviews. Occasionally, I'll do a review of some piece of camping or survival equipment. You know, compasses, flashlights, cooking gear, that sort of thing. But mainly knives. Then on Mondays, I do knife basics, what you really need to know. This is aimed more at those who are new to the world of knives and want to know what we mean when we start calling out all these fancy terms. What is a jig bone? What is G10? What is a hollow grind? What do I mean by a drop point? All these sorts of things. For those of you who have been with us for a while, welcome back. I'm glad you could make it again. Just got one question for y'all, and please don't have me answered by crickets again this time. Have you subscribed yet? Okay, that's better. Yeah, got a lot of new subscribers. That's fantastic. But we still got a few out there that aren't subscribing yet. So come on, dude. I've said this before. It's so easy. Just hit that button right down there. It says subscribe. Then they hit the button right next to it that looks like a bell. That way you get notified every time I put up a neat new video. It's a win-win situation. You win because you don't miss any of my neat new videos. I win because, well, let's be honest. The more subscribers I have, the easier it is to get these neat new things to do neat new videos about. But you're here for the knife, so let's get on to that, shall we? This is the Talon. It is designed by It's from Spartan Blades, which is a veteran-owned company out of North Carolina. It's not a flipper. As you can see, it's got thumb studs, but no thumb hole, no extended tang. It's got some nice jimping on the back of the blade. Very nice drop point. It is a liner lock. Rather interesting liner, though. Yeah, kind of stiff, as you can see. That's because it's making use of, let me double check. I want to say it's using brass washers. Oil-infused bronze bushing system. They say it's sintered bronze bushings impregnated with oil, which would, of course, greatly reduce the friction on the blade. And it says they designed it that way to give you a tight but smooth blade opening. Well, yeah, this is definitely tight. And if you're not trying to go over speed, it is very smooth. If you want speed, you can get it. But it takes a little bit of extra work to get there. But it's a very interesting blade. For one thing, the knife blade itself is made of CTS-XHP steel. If you're not familiar with that steel, it is one of the new powdered steels, often referred to as a super steel. Best explanation I've heard of it is to think of it as D2 with a higher hardness possibility and much better corrosion resistance. Because let's face it, D2 is a great tool steel, but its corrosion resistance is not as great as it could be, even if there is chromium in it. This one has fairly high amount of carbon, almost 1.6%, I'm told, which is extremely high. It's got a high amount of chromium. It's got some vanadium and some molybdenum in it. And because it's a powdered steel, the way it's made, you end up with very fine crystal patterns in the blade, which helps with the hardness. Very sweet. And supposedly it's not that much harder to sharpen than a lot of other steels, unlike, say, M390 or some of the other super steels out there. So, still recommend you use a diamond stone on it. I don't know, I haven't had it long enough to actually try sharpening it. The handle scales are a nice G10, very nicely textured. Looks almost like carbon fiber the way they did it, but it's not, it's G10. One thing that kind of gives me pause is that they only put a liner on one side. Now, with high quality G10, it shouldn't matter too much, but I'm not used to seeing that. That's something different. So I'm going to have to put one of these in my pocket and use it for a while to see if that makes a difference over the long haul, or whether that's going to hold out just fine. It's very sweet in the hand. I mean, I normally like a bigger knife, but the way they've cut the handle is just right in there. Jimping is perfect position for my thumb. See, what are the dimensions again? No, overall it's 7 inches. Yeah, blade is 3.12 inches. Blade's thickness is 0.12 inch. So, yeah, it's very nice. Very sweet, very smooth in the hand. But how well is it going to do on our standard battery test? It should do great, but let's find out for sure. Start off, standard piece of scrap paper. Yeah. Very nice. Very sweet that way. Let's see here. Cardboard. Come on there. I mean, most of us use our knives for opening boxes and letters. Went through nicely. Cut that nicely. Instructs us to say he's going to move out of the way. Yeah, that's shredding up that piece of cardboard like nobody's business. That's sweet. Let's see here. Hang packaging test. Let's see how it does with this. In nicely. And that handled nicely. And let's see here. Got hang packaging test. Paracord. Got off a piece of paracord here. Nice. Cutting through without any problem whatsoever. And see what happens when we go to a small loop that we can just get the tip through. And one, and launch. Okay. I have no clue where it went. Oh. That's good boy Strax. Yeah, have fun with that now. I'm not going to get that back from the cat now. So, where are we? Oh, yes. Leather. Let's see how it works on leather, shall we? Let's see, this has been kind of... Let's just trim it up. Well, it's cutting it nicely. I just can't hold the leather still long enough to get a good straight cut. You know what? Let's see something here. Let's put it down on a piece of wood so we can get a little bit better. Because after all, I'm going to be using it to do leather work. I'm going to have it on a cutting board. Yeah. Yeah. Cutting it nicely. Just getting in my own way. So, yeah, definitely can't complain about that. Very nice. Let's see here. Got that. Oh, yeah. Zip tie. There we go. And let's see how it handles a zip tie. Not bad. Not as nice as the Buck did earlier this week, but not bad. Yeah. It's handling it nicely. How about if I'm trying to chop it? It's cutting it, but this blade isn't really made for chopping, obviously. It could be worse. As long as I've got the wood in my hand. Yeah, much different from what I normally use, but this piece, you'd think I could use it, but no, this fault right down through here is going to cause it to split if I try to use it for a lot of things. Plus it's cupped a little bit, as you can see. I tried running this through planer to get rid of the cup, and that fault right there is going to cause it to crack and cause all sorts of problems. So we'll just regulate it to testing knives. And cutting thing, feathering it up nicely. It's just the tip. Nice. Let's see here. Where did I put my glove? Oh yeah, I forgot to mention that this was designed in conjunction with William Harsey. If you don't know who he is, he does mainly custom work, but he's also collaborated with a bunch of different knife makers, including Buck, CRKT, a host of others. He's fairly well known in the knife world. Definitely got a good reputation. Now, let's see here how this does with batoning. From the feel of it, I've got a little less worries about this one than I do most, but it's still a full knife. That means that pivot is still a weakness. And it's not going so well. I've traded. This is too long to do on the table and have it inside of you. But doing it on the chair, well, the chair is letting it bounce. So, not too bad. Not too bad. Probably do better if I angled it to go with the grain instead of against the grain. But it didn't do too bad. Yeah. Let's see here. What's next in our lineup? I misplaced my ferro rod, or I try using it on a ferro rod. See how that worked out, but we still have a wiring harness. Let's see how it handles this. Right through easily. Yeah. Let's see here. Putting it. Very nice. Very nice indeed. Yeah. Tripping the wire without any problem whatsoever. So, excuse me. Yeah. Definitely very nice. Let's see if we took any damage. I don't see any, but let's test it out just in case. Can't be too careful after all. Yeah. No. Still got it. So there you have it. Talos from Spartan Blades. It's smaller than I normally like, but still very comfortable in the hand. Excellent steel. Kind of a toothy edge to it, but it did quite well on cutting. Imagine if I took, let's see something. Got a honing steel right here. See if that took some of the toothiness out. Oh yeah. Took the toothiness right out. So. But I wouldn't complain about toothy edge on a knife like this. It is, after all, designed to be a working knife. So, yeah. Got a nice deep pocket clip. Fortunately, you can't reverse it, but other than that, it's definitely a contender. Definitely a contender. I say I'm going to have to put this one in rotation and see how it does over time, because there's enough differences on this from most knives that I'm going to be interested to see how it holds up. But for now, I hope you enjoyed. Hope you come back next week. In the meantime, I'll leave you with a couple videos over here that I think you'll enjoy. Yeah, I'm losing my voice, so it's a good thing I'm ending. As always, hit the target right over there if you want to subscribe. And we'll see you again. Bye now.